Hello, my name is Tom, and you're sitting at I was going to say the singles table, but that would sound scary. Uh, hello, it's Monday. It's 12 o'clock our time. Heather and I were super excited to do this stream. And then, about 15 minutes ago, we were eating lunch so we wouldn't be hungry during the stream, and she got a phone reminder reminding her that she had another conference call at the exact same time. So she's pretty sure that since it's a holiday week, that call's not going to go for very long, if for very long at all. So she told me to just plow ahead and go for it. And that's what I'm doing right now. So you're just stuck with me to start off for right now. And hopefully Heather will be here pretty soon. So hello. I hope you had happy Christmas. I hope you're going to have a happy whatever the next one is, New Year's and New Year's Eve. Yes. So let's see here. I can give you some updates as we get started, though. You might notice, if you're a keen observer, that this is episode number 28, and the last episode that we did was number 26, and you're like, where is episode 27? Well, episode 27 is a special audio-only episode, so you've got to go to our audio podcast, search up the Couples Table on wherever you listen to your podcast and download that there. It was a special episode that we recorded last night, which was sort of just actually it was really cool. It was like a deep dive discussion into where Heather's kind of at with her YouTube channel with this channel, because I'm on Heather's YouTube channel. I'm not Heather Just Create, though. Where she's at with this channel after, or at least nearly completing her 31-day upload challenge. And she released a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I would really recommend checking it out, because what she did was she was looking at her channel and wondering, okay, it's a fairly large channel, 10,500 subscribers. Why don't the videos get the traction you would expect? Where is kind of the core audience? One of the main reasons we love doing this stream is because there's a core community here, and it's really fun to engage with that. And obviously, like, we appreciate all the support and that everybody gives. But beyond the live stream, on the videos, where has that gone? That's kind of one of the things she was asking about. And she looked at her two most popular videos for the past month and basically realized they were just bringing in the absolute wrong people. One of them was 100% male, ages 35 to 44, and it was not for reasons of like empowerment and entrepreneurship. Jared's here. What's up, Jared? It's just me for right now. I didn't have time, but I was gonna set up a like a Heather cam so I could push a button and check in on her other video call. But we had like no time to do that. But I'm glad you're here, Jared. I'm excited to listen to your episode from today a lot. Patrick is here. Patrick, congratulations on 5,000. You deserve to hang out on that couch after that huge accomplishment. You just told me yesterday, like, I'm hoping to hit 5,000 by the end of the year. And the very next day, you're like, yay, 5,000. So if you guys haven't checked out, oh, what's this? I'm getting a phone call from my mom. I'll have to not accept that. So congratulations, Patrick. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Patrick's channel, it's terrific. He's gonna just keep growing like crazy into the new year. Mona Walker, good vibes. Thank you. I hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Dominic. Hi, Megan. You're here. And Bald Bearded Builder. I know it's hard to believe I look so much like Heather and I sound so much like Heather, but I'm not her. I can hear her, but she's just not here right now. And Patty Altdorf says, hi, Tom, watching together with... Oh, cool. So that's the couple's couch. I get it. Yeah, so I'm sort of just filling in, but here's what I can do. And I don't know if Heather's going to like this or not, so we'll find out. If she doesn't, we'll all just pretend it never happened. But as I was kind of saying, she's sort of at this like crossroads with where she wants to go with her YouTube channel. And of course, it inevitably kind of turned to the like, do I start a new channel to attract the specific audience that I want, and strategy and all this kind of stuff. And that's what our audio only episode we recorded last night is about. I don't know if this would be, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I think it might be helpful to sort of hear some feedback. She got good feedback on the video she posted yesterday, but maybe ideas, like it's a strange thing. And I'm not in this situation because I haven't been doing this long enough, but you have got a YouTube channel. It's almost 5 years old. It's gone through multiple phases. You built up an audience, but it's like a fragmented audience because they all kind of came in at different times for different purposes. How do you navigate that? Also knowing that in Heather's case, the YouTube channel is tied directly to her business, her income, her professional aspirations in terms of, growing a client list and building a course and stuff like that. So maybe, feedback like that might be helpful. Jared, I would be wearing the Heather wig if this were planned and not something that happened 5 minutes ago. Tusif, what's up? I loved your motorcycle video that you posted yesterday. It was awesome. So it gave me good vibes. Good vibes only. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I've also got this super sweet desk mat. I don't know if you guys this is what we're going to talk about today. I don't know if you've seen these, but this is they're like $15. You can get crazy patterns. And then instead of a tiny little mouse pad, you have this huge play area. And it's awesome. So I ordered one. It's really nice. Heather ordered one. It's super cool. I don't know. It looks nice on camera. It's got, the colors and things. Tusi says, Heather's looking manly today. Yes, except she's for sure stronger than me because she, exercises more. I used to be really good at exercise, and then COVID hit, and we were going to get what is it, quarantined, when everyone was yeah, quarantine's this quirky little thing that's going to happen for a month back in March, and now it's New Year's. So then I just kind of gave up. Yeah, that's where we are on that. But Heather has not given up. She's on day 130 or something of her exercise challenge, which is super cool. Tusif, I'm glad that we're going to have some more motorcycle videos coming. That was really cool. And speaking of more videos, Dominic, hoping to see some videos from you as well now that you've got the gear. Mr. Camera Junk is here. Hi, Lewis. How are you doing? Hope you had a great Christmas. Hope you're gearing up towards a great new year. You're still going live every day, which is awesome. So congrats on that. That's super cool. And everyone just keeps getting better and better. I'm sure you've probably already done this, but if you haven't, go back and watch your first live stream or your second live stream. And even if it doesn't feel like you've progressed, you're going to look back and go oh, it's different now. And that's really, really cool. Oh, yes. Well, here, Jared, I can help you. I got you. Oh, it's grippy on the bottom. There. That's better. It's better. Now the mat is slightly centered in the frame. Let's see here. What else is happening here? We are going to do our regular Thursday show this week, which will be New Year's Eve, and that's just a happy coincidence. So it'll probably be at a different time. We've been trying to, since everybody's in different time zones, we've been trying to be better about social media, telling people, hey, this is when you need to, this is when we'll be going live. So it'll probably be 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So plan on that if you have nothing to do on New Year's Eve because you're supposed to be quarantined. Jared, I'm glad this is better now. And that'll be pretty fun there. Let's see what else we got going on this week. Editing videos, working on stuff, kind of the same old stuff. We're in that awkward phase of when do we take down Christmas decorations? Because it's sad when you take them down, but also it gets sad when they're up too long. So I don't know. I like looking forward to Christmas, and I hate it when Christmas is over. It's a real bummer. But our Christmas was super fun, and New Year's Eve was perfect because where we live, it never rains and it's just sunny all the time, which sounds great, but honestly, after hundreds and hundreds of days in a row of just pure sunshine, you kind of want some clouds and stuff. And Christmas Eve was like cloudy, and then it started raining at night, and it was like the first rain for our corgi. It was awesome. Loved it. Yeah, you can check the Discord too, like Tusif said, if you want to check out updates on stuff. Dominic, your New Year's plans are falling asleep watching Friends with Pizza. So yeah, I mean, that honestly sounds great. Some of my favorite memories just involve food and TV. Which is still the case now, but my very first job right out of high school was working at a video store. And I always worked the late shift. I'd work like 2:30 to 11:30, 6 to midnight, like that kind of stuff. But Sundays, I would like open the store. So I would work like regular hours, like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or something like that. And when I was done, we would get our new movies that were coming out that week. So I'd be able to like check out some movies early, or I would just go home and watch TV. And then I would go to Jack in the Box and get a crispy chicken sandwich, spicy crispy chicken sandwich with the onion rings. And I'd go home and just like enjoy fried chicken sandwich and either movie, or usually it was King of the Hill. And it was just like bliss with a root beer, also with a root beer. So that's, I get it. That actually sounds like a terrific New Year's, honestly. Mona, what's up? Thank you guys so much for hosting lives on the holidays, because a lot of us don't have healthy families in our lives. So we are alone on the holidays. Yeah, that is, especially this year. It's interesting. It's nice how, what's the word for it? I guess live streams serve a different purpose, because when Heather and I were talking last week about whether we were going to go live on Christmas Eve, I said no, just because Christmas Eve, I honestly just wanted to sit around in pajamas and like not think about anything all day, which is great. But I actually ended up watching some live streams too from other people, because it was just really fun, and it feels really good, and it is like a really nice thing, and especially not just the person who's streaming, but the community that's on the streams. It can be a really cool thing to be a part of. So I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'm glad. Hopefully you're looking forward to our New Year's Eve stream to see if your New Year's resolution is to realize they don't matter as much as we think. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm sure we'll talk about this on Thursday, but if you guys have any New Year's resolutions that you're thinking of, I'm interested to hear them. I kind of don't, like, I kind of stopped making New Year's resolutions in the same way, not because they don't matter, but because it's just like so much pressure when you're like, okay, starting in January, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do this. And then, a week goes by or a few days goes by, and it's just like a lot of pressure. And they're like, I messed up my whole New Year's resolution. I like it like, hey, it's whatever. It's April 3rd and I want to like start a new habit. I'm just going to start it today. But, new year, new you, right? I guess. I don't know. I mean, just because the calendar changes doesn't mean everybody. The thing that scares me, I guess, I'm having a lot of thoughts at once, is everybody's like, good riddance 2020, get out of here 2020, the craziest year ever. And it's like, that's not going to change just because the calendar ticks over to 2021. Like everything, it's still the same stuff. So, you just can do the best you can with what you got. Mark, hello, Mark. Christmas decorations go down with the Feast of the Three Kings, but when is that? Is that January 2nd? I feel like I heard something about January 2nd at some point. We usually take ours down like today, or the 28th, 29th is usually when they tend to come down. I just always dread it because I'm like, it's going to be such a process, take everything down. It ends up taking half the time I expect, and it's never difficult, but I always dread it. To see if it's having pasta right now. I hope that's real pasta and not fake pasta. You might have to check to see if you have an impasta in there. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, to see Ramona join the Discord for sure. Jessica's here. Hello, Jessica. Hopefully you're doing well. Mark, do you have favorite streamers or look for randoms? It seems like a lot of channels I watch have started streaming more. If Mr. Camera Junkie is still in here, Peter Gregg's one of my favorites because it really feels like you're just hanging out with like the same friendly group of people all the time. Like the common factor is people who are into cameras and camera tech, but the streams and the conversations go anywhere. And sometimes he'll stream for like 5 hours or 7 hours or something, like way longer than I'll watch. But it's really fun to just join in and be a part of that. So I watch his like religiously, and then Mr. Camera Junkie himself, Lewis, does live streams. Been doing them like every day, and they're really fun and really cool too. Um, Otherwise, it's kind of just like who is popping up in my feed at the time, and I kind of want to check them out. I watched a really fun one with D Nimmin last night, which is more like YouTube strategy stuff. But it was like super fun. I really enjoy that. He streams like a couple times a week, once a week at least, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Jessica, you're so thankful for these streams. Such good company on the lonelier days. My New Year's resolution is just to be healthier and to find a new job. I mean, those are good ones. Mentally healthy, physically healthy. Finding a new job, I think a lot of people are going to be in that boat now, for better or worse. And to Steve just says every day should be a new day resolution. It is easier to break things down. I just got one for my mom for Christmas. Heather's had one for a while, and I used to have one, these little notebooks called Panda Planners, which is just like a daily planner, but every day has like specific little boxes. It's not really overwhelming, but it'd be like 3 things I'm looking forward to today, 3 things I accomplished today, like little things like that. And I found that to be really helpful because instead of what I was noticing, this was a couple years ago, was I would wake up and I'd wake up at like 5 a.m. and I know I have like a big long day ahead, and I would just think like, oh, I can't wait till I can like come home and go to bed. And I'm like, okay, the sun's not even up yet, and I'm literally wishing this day is over, and like it hasn't even started, and that felt really bad. And so for me, that Panda planner was really helpful because it forced me to kind of look at each day as its own thing, like, cool. Let's forget about all the stress and exhaustion of other days. Let's look at today and go, what are you looking forward to today? What's good about today? All that kind of stuff. And that was really cool. Eventually, because I am who I am, it got stressful to keep it up because I was like, oh, every day I have to like do this stuff. And I was like, if this is causing me stress, I'm just going to pause it for a while. But Heather had one. They come in like 6-month sections, so it's not like you have to do it forever. Heather had one that's really cool, and I just got my mom one for Christmas, which is awesome. Let's see here. Mr. Camera Junkie, mine is not waiting on a date. That's why I started my live streams ASAP. Oh, okay. I was like, do you mean like waiting on like a date, like a date to go like to go out on a date? Mark said January 6th is Christmas decoration time. See, we just talked about New Year's resolutions not being a thing, but I definitely personally get really bummed out when Christmas decorations are still up in the new year, because it's like December is my favorite month. I get kind of sad when it's over, and it's just a reminder like that I don't know. I like going into the new year fresh, so I would definitely want to make sure there's no yeah. Sorry, I got distracted because people were laughing at my impasta joke, and Patrick says he waited 15 minutes for a dad joke. Well, this is kind of a bad one, but speaking of pasta jokes, do you know where the poorer noodles tend to live? In the spaghetto. It's like a really bad joke, but it's the word spaghetto just makes me laugh. Right. And Mona, getting back on topic, at least as close as possible, Mona says, I think it's more psychological. For me, January 2021, I'm thinking I'm off to a new start. It can reshape my destiny, but to your point, you can do that at any point in the year. Yeah. So I think New Year's is a good time because it is a nice reboot. Cool. We can like mentally, culturally, it's just, this is a new year, but that feeling of like, if you mess up 3 weeks into it, it's not like, well, now I got to wait 11 and a half more months before I can get back on the train again. Like, you can just start at any time. And that's, for me, it seems like the most like revitalizing time of year is always spring, like April to May. That's when I just like start to feel really pumped and like excited about things. I don't know, maybe it's because there's more daylight or something, but or maybe it's just because I've been on an academic calendar for most of my life, and it's like summer vacation. I can actually do stuff. So that's usually when I'm like really getting into what do I want to, focus on as much as possible. The winter time I love, but it's so much like I'm just looking forward to the next break and the next holiday and the next break and the next holiday. So, oh, D does every Sunday. That makes sense because yesterday was Sunday. I just see him pop up and he seems like he's always there. He's a really fun guy. We trade puns on Twitter all the time. To see if I like this. Achieve so much in a day that you sleep guilty-free at night. That does feel good when you can look back at your day and go like, dang, I did this. It's not even that you have to do a bunch of things, but it's just sort of whatever your goal was for making the most out of that day, you actually did it. It always feels good. Jessica says, setting themes for each year I feel the most effective for me and keeping a resolution. So it's like I'm constantly working on it. 2021 is the year of being healthy in life, work, and body. That sounds amazing. I am on board with making that my resolution. And yes, we are missing somebody. We're missing Heather today. She's how many feet away? She's probably like 14 feet away, I think. But we just completely messed up because we were so excited about the idea of doing a stream on a different time. We're like, yeah, Monday at 12, great. And forgetting that double booked her for like a standing like consultation call that she has every Monday with like a group, like a client group. So we decided, she just said, hey, Tom, go in and get started. She was pretty sure 20 minutes ago that because it's a holiday week, there weren't going to be that many people there. They might wrap up kind of early. So kind of like keeping one ear open to see if I hear her coming in. But I hear her talking, so I'm guessing people actually came into the call. It's actually kind of cool. She works with this like, I am going to get this wrong, but it's a company that works with a bunch of financial planners. Ultimately, it comes to every Monday or every other Monday, she has a group, like a cohort of financial planners who are seeking YouTube strategies, because for financial planners, a lot of them can do what they do remotely. You don't need to be in the same town or anything, so they can get clients from anywhere. And building YouTube channels is actually like a great way for them to establish, credibility and all that kind of stuff. And they just go to Heather for advice. And now that she's been doing that for like a year and a half. A lot of them have, up and running YouTube channels, which is really cool. And so they just kind of meet and brainstorm every couple of weeks, Q&A stuff. But it sounds like a lot of them showed up. They actually really like her. Imagine that. They actually really like her class. Interesting. Let's see here. To see, does it feel weird looking at a lens, or does a teleprompter help? I mean, looking at a cartoon in here. So it's weird. It's weird. Like it's weird. I'm used to looking at Heather right now, but the camera lens over the years for me has become more of a person. Like it is just this big black like eye that never blinks, but it's become more of, a person. So I'm much more used to, especially now doing online classes and stuff, of directing my attention to the camera lens as much as possible. So much so actually that sometimes there's been once in a while that I'll be on a call and I'll have like my computer, here, and I'll be talking to the camera. And then for whatever reason, I need to turn off the camera and go to like the really crummy built-in webcam. Sometimes if the other person has a really bad connection, like the higher quality video just kills it. So if I switch to the webcam, it seems to work better. And I do that. And then even though I know I need to look here, I can't help but keep looking here. So then they just stare at me staring in the wrong direction the whole time. But yeah, I did play around last week, which was really fun. I put my prompter on my camera and then I put the iPad on it with, what's it called? Sidecar, where you can use your iPad as an external display for your Mac computer. And then I put my Zoom call on the iPad, so that way the prompter, I was actually looking at, I could do it right now, because in the comments I could have them up on the camera and I don't have to look off to the side. I just didn't, which is dumb, but it's really cool. But anyway, that was cool. Like, that was really neat to be able to finally just stare at the person on the call, but I'll also be looking directly into the camera. I think it made a huge difference. Thanks for giving me an A for effort, Lewis. I appreciate that. Steve says, I can't tag anyone on mobile either. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Dominic does a word to focus on for each year. Interesting. Do you mean like, I don't know what the word would be, but say the word is focus for the year. Like, does that mean you kind of go through the year trying to apply the idea of focus to everything that you're doing, or that you pick a strange, absurd word and try to just like use it as much as possible throughout the year? I'm interested to know. To see if anything, I'm for sure traveling to at least one of my dream countries. My gear looks at me all naughty. What is one of your dream countries? I'm curious. You do a lot of traveling. I miss traveling. Patrick, well, if all the big pasta are chilling with spaghetti, then the little ones will get macaroni. That's true. And I can't think. I was trying to think of what's another type of pasta, but I couldn't think of another pasta. There's linguine. I don't know. I feel like there's a joke there. Jessica, I have a mission to visit Super Nintendo World in Japan safely next year. Yeah, I mean, when we can travel again, it is declared by Heather that Japan is the place that we're going, and they just opened up Super Nintendo World, which looks ridiculous but super cool. So I watched like the Nintendo, where it was like the CEO of Nintendo was kind of walking through it. It was really cool. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Lewis was saying everyone's off right now, so it's most likely full. I guess those financial planners are just, they're just the type of person that's going to be there even on a vacation week. Oh, to see if you're obsessed with Iceland and really want to go there and shoot stuff, might earn a collab with an Icelandic guy or Peter Lindgren. Iceland, yes. One of my dream places. I'm wondering on this computer if I have anything. Probably on an external hard drive. It is. I was going to see if I could share. But I have, I went to Iceland 2.5 years ago, summer of 2018. I had wanted to go for a long time. I planned that trip for like a year. Super expensive. And expensive in a way where like you spend a ton of money on like a hot dog, but gosh, one of just the cool, it feels like you're on a different planet, which is why they film so many things that take place on other planets in Iceland. But I mean, really, like I've just never been anywhere like that, and anywhere where it's just so remote. The whole country has like 300,000 people or something, right? I might be wrong on that. The whole country's population is very small, and most of it is in Reykjavik, like the main town, and then there's a couple other cities/towns, and then tons of small villages, and then tons of just open land, and it's absolutely worth it. I would love to go back there because I only did the southern half, and I would love to do the northern half, which works out because 2 years before I went, Heather went with one of her friends, and she did the southern half as well. So we did like the same parts of Iceland, but just not together. And then we could both go back and do the northern half. Or what part of my original plan was when I went was to do the ring road. There's a road that goes around the whole country. And I wanted to do that in a few days, like rent a car and do that. But I ended up doing a tour group through... It was like G Adventures. It was like through National Geographic. I was like flipping through a National Geographic book, and there was an ad for like travel things, and it was just like, this is really cool. It's really small groups. It was very much focused on like being able to do like cool photo stuff, and I was just like, yeah, this seems awesome, and it was absolutely worth every penny. And then we went to Switzerland after that. So I went to Iceland alone. That was actually a really fun trip. I went to New York first because for us, we have to fly from California to the east all the way to Iceland, which is a very long flight. So I went to New York for a couple days and just hung out in New York, and then flew to Iceland because it's only like a 4-hour plane ride from New York to Iceland, and then was there for like a week, and then flew to Switzerland, and then Heather met me in Switzerland, and we hung out there for like a week, and then we flew home. So that was like a really, really, really fun trip. Steve says we should rig the camera and make a face. around it. That's like the thing they do for little kids. You can buy like, it's like a, a stuffed animal that goes around the camera lens. So when you're trying to take their picture, they're like looking at it like a dog treat, basically. Dominic says yes, and idea word for the year. So, okay, got you. I'm curious. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but if you've got your word for 2021, I'd love to know what it is. What word you're trying to incorporate into everything for the next year. Megan, I'm trying to follow the theme system from Podcast Cortex. Basically, you just try to do something that focuses on your theme throughout the year. I love themes because it's not so much freedom that it's paralyzing, but it's like, it's enough freedom that you don't feel stuck on one thing because you make your decision in January or December for January, and then 4 weeks later, you're like, I don't know that I want to do this for 11 more months. I remember I tried to do, this is pre-YouTube, pre-video, I was trying to do they used to call it Project 365, where you do a photo a day, every day. And this was also like, God, it sounds so old, before like phone cameras were good. So it was more like you take your DSLR, take like a good artistic photo every day for 365 days. I thought that was the coolest thing. I made it till January 9th, and then I was like, too much pressure. I don't want to do this. But I like the theme thing because it gives you something to center around, and then you can still explore, but you're like tethered to that one pillar of the theme, which I think is really, really cool. I like that idea. I might steal that idea. So there we go. To Steve said, is the food expensive? Overall, it's really expensive in Iceland. And I found that out. I think Iceland is one of, if not the most expensive travel destinations in the world, followed up by Switzerland. So it was very fun to go from Iceland to Switzerland. And the reason being is Iceland is just remote. And so like everything, it also depends on where you're coming from and how your currency converts, but everything is just expensive because it's hard to get there. They don't even have a McDonald's there anymore. I know we've talked about McDonald's here before, but they used to have one or two McDonald's in Iceland, and they closed them down because McDonald's couldn't reliably import their bread. And, big thing about McDonald's is it's super consistent. They have variations in their menu throughout the world, but the staple foods are the same everywhere. Southern California, Iceland, Europe, whatever. Like the Big Mac's going to taste the same. The Filet-O-Fish is going to taste the same. And they couldn't get the bread right, and they're not going to switch up their bread and use like Icelandic bread, which is a shame because Icelandic bread is amazing. So yeah, it's all very, very, very expensive. But, the cool thing is though, since Iceland has been a popular travel thing, there's so many good videos on YouTube about, Heather has one about packing for Iceland, but also like budgeting for Iceland and how to plan it out. Because there's also just tons of stores. You can go grocery shopping, get food to last for a few days. That works out really, really well. But there's just not like a lot of like, it's one of those things where you're spending the amount of money you would plan to spend on maybe like a really nice restaurant or something, but it's just sort of like convenience store food. It's not that it's bad, but there are some amazing restaurants. One thing they do, I forget exactly what they call it, like earth cooking, because there's so much geothermal activity in Iceland. A bunch of restaurants, instead of using fire or gas ovens, they use like the steam and stuff from the ground to cook their food and to bake their bread and stuff like that. And it's so good. Smells kind of weird outside the building because it's a lot of like sulfur and stuff, but the food tastes delicious, like the soups and the breads. If you like soup and bread, Iceland is terrific. And it's usually fairly cold there. So like good soup and good bread, real good, real good. Tusi said maybe we can meet in Iceland. I would love to. Oh man. So we got Japan, we got Iceland. That's our meetup. We only do extreme meetup locations. Patrick said I would make a dad joke for linguine, but I'm not sure if we can facilitate that. That would be fusilly. But a joke like that wouldn't be impossible, I guess. Anyway, you'll have me ravioling on the floor. That didn't work at all. Jessica, the Switzerland videos were so wonderful. Would love to see a Heather vlog in Japan. Yes, and Heather would love to make one. Let me tell you, because that's like her main channel thing right now. It's like Japan vlog, travel videos, and stuff like that. She would make some really fun videos. Let's see here. Megan is saying, oh, you recommend Cortex for general productivity, but I'm not sure that's where the theme started. GCP Gray is one of the hosts and proponents of themes. To Steve said he'd be happier to place without McDonald's. Less people, more beautiful and stunning than nature becomes. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have any problem. Iceland has like a couple of the chain restaurants. I forget. I think they had like a Domino's Pizza, a KFC. I'm trying to remember what else was familiar. I think there were like Subways everywhere. Otherwise, it was just smaller places. And they have a local fast food chain called Aktu Taktu, which is like a mix between maybe like a McDonald's and like a Wiener Schnitzel. And it's all meat. Like Iceland is where I stopped eating meat, but I really like that restaurant. And there's like hot dog stands everywhere, and Iceland is weirdly famous for their hot dogs. And of course, like their seafood is amazing, which makes sense. It's all good stuff there. Let's see. Mark says, seriously though, McDonald's consisting its food is a great way to stabilize any stomach problems when traveling, unless you know it doesn't sit well with your stomach. Yeah, that is. In airports, I usually seek out a McDonald's just because I know what's going to happen, and I don't want to go sit on a long flight after like some experimental thing. So McDonald's is, their consistency, for better or worse, is amazing. I look forward to being able to eat there again one day. Jessica says, last year was the year of giving back, and 2019 was self-care. It's really nice to see how my brain conditioned me over the year to make sure to remember. I like that. I really like that. I really, really, you guys all kind of do, like Dominic, Jessica, Megan, you guys are doing like the same idea of kind of themes and overarching goals and stuff throughout the year, rather than just, I'm going to eat fewer than 1,800 calories every day, or I'm going to work out every single day for at least 90 minutes, where you're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. Oh, Jessica remembers the Subway stories from English class. Yeah. So I worked at Subway for 4 days in 2003. And okay, here's the thing with Subway. Just, I don't want to get Heather in legal trouble on her channel. Every Subway is franchised, so they're owned by different people, which means that even though there's still the goal of consistency, the tone and the vibe of each store can really be dictated by the person who runs and owns that store. In 2003, I just needed like a job while I was still in high school. I decided to work at Subway because I ate at Subway all the time because I love sandwiches. And this is an embarrassing story to tell, but it's pretty funny. So I got a job at our local Subway. And I had a couple jobs before, and I want to be a good employee. You know, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to break rules. I don't want to do anything like that. And so I got a job at this Subway, and there was just the manager. I never really saw the owner. Every once in a while, he would just sort of show up kind of being like in a bad mood, and he would just go and like count money in the safe, and then he'd leave. That's it. And then the manager was there, and like my first day, it was kind of slow. And so, you know, they were telling me how to make the sandwiches and stuff, which they were very militant about. Like Subway cheese is very hard to peel apart. And, you know, whatever it is, like this foot long is supposed to have 6 pieces of cheese. But if I accidentally put 7, the next person over would like take the extra cheese and like throw it back down. And I was like, God, I'm sorry. It's like really hard to peel this cheese. And whenever there weren't customers, I would ask, okay, what do we do now? And the manager would say, you know, restock all the stuff, the lettuce, tomatoes, and things like that. Cool. So I restock those. Okay, done with that. What now? You know, go mop the floor, go empty the trash. And I just kept asking, we're done. What do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do? I didn't know the process until eventually she said, I don't know, just go stand out there. And I was like, okay. The thing is, I had also worked at Target previously, where one day I was at a cash register, no one was there, and I was just standing there. I think I put my hand in my pocket, and the phone at the cash register rang, and I picked it up, and it was the manager saying, we don't stand around with our hands in our pockets. So they were just watching me from somewhere, and that just taught me, like, you don't stand around when you're on the clock. You work and you do stuff. Anyway, the next day I was helping the assistant manager make some bread, which like the loaves of bread, they kind of look like doughy hot dogs, and you lay them out and bake them in the oven and stuff. This batch of bread had these little like gnat bugs kind of crawling on it. And I was like, oh, I think this one's bad. It's got bugs on it. I don't think we need to use it. And he was like, just pick them off. I was like, pretty sure no, that's not how it's supposed to work. And then, oh, I hear somebody. Hey, don't worry. We'll finish this story. It's our special guest. Let me scoot over. Everybody has been missing you.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, the seat's all warm.
That's right. I kept the seat warm for you. Here we go.
Hello. Oh my gosh.
I was telling a story about when I worked at Subway for 4 days. We were talking about New Year's resolutions.
You haven't told this story yet?
I don't think so. So I'm going to finish it real quick.
All right, go
just
ahead.
because I don't want to leave people hanging.
I've heard this
so,
so
eventually, after 4 days, I realized I don't want to work at this Subway anymore. And then, instead of just quitting, I had some jobs I didn't like. I had this thought, which is a very weird thought, which was, I'm 17. I've always, I'm never going to have the chance to quit a job and cause a scene, because as I get older, this will cause problems. But now, I don't need a letter recommendation from this Subway. Come on. So I went into the Subway when I was supposed to start my shift, and I was so new that the person working, the employee, I had never even met them, so I didn't know who I was, and I had my apron and my hat and all my stuff in my hands, and I walked in, and there was a line of people, and I put it on the counter, and I just went on this rant about, I took every frustration I'd ever had with a job and just funneled it there in that moment to this confused person in front of a line of people. And there was a lot of arm flailing. Like, if you could see the security camera footage, it would just be like, what is this guy doing? Is he like being attacked by bees or something? And then finally I was like, so that's it. Like, I'm out of here. I quit. And then this guy in line was like, see you later. And I was like, bye. And then I left. And then that Subway closed down. Yeah. So anyway, that's my Subway story. This is where we've been.
Yay.
It was, Jessica just said she remembered the Subway stories, but we were talking about New Year's resolutions.
Uh-huh.
A lot
how's
of
it been running it on your own?
It's been great. A lot of people do themes instead of specific resolutions. Like Dominic will pick a word and kind of focus on that word. Other people will just sort of like pick a theme and just remind themselves of the theme, which is very interesting. Mm-hmm. And we were making a lot of jokes about pasta, pasta puns. That's probably the last 42 minutes. I think that caught you up pretty. Oh, we're talking about Iceland because Tusif wants to travel and go to Iceland.
Ooh, you're going to love it.
Talked about Japan a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I told them, I explained where you were. Actually, that Subway is a Starbucks now. Uh-oh. Well, that's fine because Starbucks is better. Well, the one used to be it switched to a Middle Eastern restaurant, and then that closed, and then it moved across the street, and I guess now it's a Starbucks, which is probably cleaner, so it's okay. Dominic wants to know where we can get that security camera footage.
Me too.
So, hello.
Hi.
And welcome
to the couple table.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
How was your group call?
It's good. We talked about thumbnails. They were like, You're live on your channel right now. There's half of the couples table's missing. I was like, I know, I double booked.
Yeah, I explained that we were just eating lunch and you got your notice.
I don't even know. See, that's what happens if it's not in the calendar. Because I checked the calendar last night. The couples table was not on there. And then I woke up this morning and that's all we were talking about. And I just...
Yeah. I didn't know about your other one, but I explained that there's a special audio-only episode.
Ooh.
I kind of explained what we talked about a little bit.
I re-listened to that this morning.
How do you feel? I can't get a read on you, which is why I keep asking.
I know you do.
Yes.
I don't want to tell you what I think about it.
What? Now you got to tell me.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I feel bad for saying this. I feel like for this, it's such a thing I need to figure out on my own is kind of like my takeaway because I feel like we have been through this so many times that I felt like you were getting frustrated a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I don't want my problem to be a frustration for you. So I was like, the whole time I was shaking my head like you were tired, I just feel bad.
So go listen to that episode. I thought it was great, but
I know, but like I can tell that we were not on the same page. Like I was asking for one thing and you were telling me another thing, and like we just were not.
Oh, I was trying to push you out of your like the place where you just normally kind of ruminate, and I was just trying to like push you out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I think about.
All right. Cool. Well, go listen.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any insights that you've come up with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't made any decisions. I mean, how much did you tell them?
I mean, just the basics. And I kind of talked about your video yesterday and like how you discovered the wrong people were being brought in, and
Yeah.
really like how having a channel that's been around for like 5 years and has gone through several transformations, has a very fragmented audience, and how do you go about not just unifying the audience, but bringing in the audience that you actually want to build?
Yeah. So I haven't made any decisions, like I said, but the thing that I'm leaning towards is hiding everything on this channel. Everything's gonna be hidden. So there's not gonna be anything on here, except for maybe, I would say, 10 to 20 videos that I think really hit home in terms of this is what I want to be known for. Like if I were to tell you, these are my favorite videos, this is what I want to be known for, this is the thing that I want you to watch, I'll leave those up. Mm-hmm. All 480 others are just going out. Couples Table will be in a playlist of its own. This is still going to stay because I like it. And then I'm just going to double down on the tutorial channel. Yeah.
All right.
Because I think it's a little bit of like, I'm asking myself, like, what am I trying to achieve? Like, what's my purpose? Mm-hmm. And this is kind of going in line, I think, with what you guys were talking about with like New Year's resolutions and stuff. And it's like, I don't need to like take one for the team just so I can die on the hill of like, I want to create positive content and document everything authentically and show everyone the highs and the lows, because I feel like it really makes a difference. And I just don't think that, I think if my goal is to make a difference, I think I can make a bigger difference doing something totally different, which again, like kind of makes me feel sad, but I think it's because I'm so attached to the way that I've been doing it, but it's just too micro. It's not enough macro. Like if my goal is to show you that you can overcome anything, you are not going to learn anything from watching me swim in the weeds all day. Like you need to see me take a step, and you're not going to see me take a step by me documenting the journey. Sorry if this is like, don't die on the hill. God, we had a whole conversation about you, Kevin. Shoot. She looks up and Tom looks down.
That's funny. So yesterday, we don't have to like rehash yesterday's because it's your channel, your thing. But from my point of view, where I was coming from, just so you know, and if you listen, just where you know, is my impulse is to just be supportive, right? Just listen and be supportive. But my thought last night, when it's not late for us, and you pull me and say like, I think we could record this, have this discussion, do this, and I know you've been ruminating on it. My goal was to really try to poke and prod, not as my wife, but as like, as somebody else who just approached. Like if anybody just booked a consultation call and asked these questions, I'm going to approach it differently than I'm going to approach it when it's you. And I know what each video means. I know what the time means. I know the behind the scenes of everything versus just what I see and my opinions on it. Maybe that doesnn work, but it's hard for me to navigate. It's hard for me to walk that line between like supportive, constructively critical, I don't know. I always struggle. It seems like I never do it well.
You do it well always, first of all. So
Okay,
stop.
well, thank you.
You're like the most supportive person in the whole world.
Well, supportive, sure, but sometimes you don't need just someone. Sometimes what you don't need is someone to just say like, "Yeah, you got this." Yeah, yeah. Like that's sometimes doesn't help.
Well, I felt like yesterday I didn't know this in the moment. I was just so like in the moment I was like trying to process, but listening to it over, I could feel myself like I'm trying to explain or ask you this one thing. I'm not doing a very good job of it, and I think you're so used to trying to do to like, you know, push me out of my thing that you're also not picking up on what I'm really trying to ask.
Oh, okay.
So like here's one thing that I can
An example.
yeah, here's an example. So, you know, we got into the whole thing of like, it's always easy for everyone else to talk about, like what someone else should do with their YouTube channel.
Right.
So for me, I look at Tom's channel and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can tell you exactly who the target audience is, what his channel is about. I can come up with a list of 25 video ideas right here and now because Tom's branding is so clear and on point. You know exactly why you're subscribing. You know exactly what you're going to get in the future. You look forward to the next videos because you know you have a sense of what they're going to be about. For my channel, you can't say that. Like that's not, you can't say that same thing, but you kept saying yesterday, like, yeah, you can. You know, it's not as easy as you think on my channel. And I'm like, but I think it is so in comparison. Because if you were, you know, if you were to say, like, what's your channel about? Who's your target audience, Heather? Let me come up with 25 video ideas. Could you do it compared to yours?
I think maybe this is where I was getting it out. Looking at the channel now, no. But looking at the channel with what you were describing it as how you wanted it to be, yes. And that's where I was coming from. I wasn't looking at like, yeah, if I go to it right now and look at the 500 videos, that would be difficult because there's just so much and it's so much variety and stuff. But based on what you had said yesterday of like, well, this is kind of what I want. This is how I want people to feel. Then my thought was, yeah, with that in mind, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I was thinking. I think we were just looking at it from different angles, the same thing. So maybe that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. So my thing, I feel bad for throwing you guys into this conversation. You guys were over here talking about Subway.
It's
but
okay.
It's like, I don't know. It's just on my mind. So like, I think the difference between 2020 entrepreneur Heather versus 2016 or even 2019 is that, and especially after the 31-day challenge, like I have such a better sense of like long-term goals. Instead of before, I was so impulsive. Like, what can I do tomorrow? Oh my gosh. And, you know, that's why it was so hard to do a daily challenge. Whereas this was like a breeze in comparison to when I've tried to do this before. But now it's like, the way I see it is, it goes back to the one thing. It's a book I read. I forgot who the author is. It's kind of like essentialism. But what if you are faced with like 20 million decisions or this sense of like, there's not enough time in the day. What's the one thing that you can do that will make everything easier or eliminate other things that you have to do? That is how you should prioritize. And when I frame it that way, the one thing is not make videos on this channel.
Okay. What is there a one thing?
Yeah, it's work on the tutorial channel, be known as a YouTube coach so you could sell your damn course. Like that, because the issue is that there's no stability right now. And if I make stability there, then I could do anything. I'll make videos about anything. But until then, you know, like that's not, I can't, like just practically, you know, I can talk about how can I motivate people? How can I get people to be doers and, you know, see that they have a story worth sharing too and that's all great. But like at the sacrifice of my sanity, no, It's not, you know, and you are like, I don't even know why it's a thing that I feel like I'm like feeling like I'm surrendering as if like, oh, I guess I'll go do that because that's the thing I need to do. Because it doesn't have to be. I mean, we just had this discussion about Kevin. Like Kevin doesn't want to do tutorials, which is totally fine. But it's also the thing that I feel like if you did that thing, it would make everything easier. Like you can make a bunch, like it can turn into a sustainable or a significant source of income. Then you can make a bunch of videos about whatever you want. And it's like, how can I give you that advice and not take my own advice? So that's kind of where I'm feeling. It's a little, are you just gonna listen?
I'm trying to just listen.
I want to know what your thoughts. Don't do that.
I think that makes sense. I'm not not doing anything. I mean, everything you're saying makes sense. I don't have any objection to it. It's kind of like what we talked about. So it's not like there was a new, you saying that you're going to double down on the other channel makes sense. Yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've heard enough from me. Let's hear what other people have to say. Jessica says, watching the journey is great too. I feel seeing thought processes help one think critically about one's actions when going about things day to day or overall. And to see if agrees, his process everything. Once you reach the destination, you're no longer excited to get up and run towards your goal.
I know, and see, that's why
You're all about the journey, though. We've talked about that.
That's what I really liked about my channel is that, like, Gary Vee asks this all the time. Like, what if Elon Musk had a vlog when he first started? No one's going to care when you're watching it in the moment. But yeah, once he's like where he is now, aren't you going to go back and be like, how did he, this is where the dots connected, or this is when he learned that thing, or this is how this had made an impact. But it's like, I don't feel like people are, like, until I get to Elon Musk, it's just going to be a lot of like, Heather, why don't you do this? And Heather, why don't you do that? And like, you keep talking about how you're going to start things and then you stop. And it's going to be like a lot of unsolicited feedback, which is fine. But like, that's not the impact that I want to make on people. Is like you telling me what to do. I want to inspire you to do something.
I want to tell you what to do.
Yeah, like that's not like the thing I'm trying to inspire you to do is not to tell me what to do. Like
you don't gotta tell me what to do.
I just feel like it's not, you know what I mean? So I don't want to start a third channel because that's what we were talking about. And I feel like to like cull this channel, the most extreme way that I could do that is to hide everything and then just one by one manually review all 500 videos and like, does this bring to life the brand that I want to be known for? Yes or no? And I want to be really strict about it. Not on the phrase, does it,
clear yes kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. Because of course we can tie in the wedding or dogs, but no, because the dogs isn't inspiring you to take action. It's great, but it's not like I'm not attracting the right people with just putting variety content out there. And it sucks. I feel bad. I feel bad.
You shouldn't feel bad.
I like that content. Like I love those videos, but I just feel like I feel like this would be a great thing to document on my other channel. It's like, okay, how do you rebrand a channel?
On the tutorial channel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that could be super interesting. Well, here's Kevin giving you advice today. I think it's supportive to be constructive. I mean, how I do it in the worst way because I can be overly critical, but it shows you care. Yeah, I mean, I had a friend in college who was kind of pointing that out, where he was like, being supportive doesn't always mean just saying blindly yes, 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 go for it, but it can sometimes mean going like, okay, I see this goal. Let's talk about the realistic way to achieve it. Let's talk about the stumbling blocks. Let's talk about the obstacles. Let's figure out things that just might not be feasible. Which sounds, it's not as romantic as to be like, yeah, that's your goal, but this part will never happen. And this part's going to be like, but really that is the nuts and bolts of like how it's going to come together for real.
The way that I think we work really well together is like not to necessarily encourage or tell like, hey, I think you should do this. I don't think we do that because we trust each other to know, like, obviously make your own decisions. I think what we're really good at as a partnership is, one, being the sounding board to just like, I just need to get my thoughts out. And then two, to...
The sounding board is a good podcast name, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's to like make it so that I don't even know how to explain it. It's like we get into discussion and then, like, I saw this when you had to rebrand from the Enthusiasm Project to Tom Buck, which doesn't seem like a big deal to anybody.
I was so scared.
It was a huge deal for Tom. Yeah. And it was the same thing. You were like, oh my gosh, should I do it? Or what does that mean? How does this, like, what does this
so
change?
much of it was letting go of this idea that I was very attached to.
But what we did is we talked about it, and then you left and you ruminated, and then you come out of your room? And you're like, boom, I figured it out.
I cocooned.
That's what, like, I felt like I needed to do. So it's not like, I don't want you to think that.
No, I'm super offended, and I'm just kidding.
It's just like I have come to new conclusions, factoring other things.
Yeah, it's your chance. I mean, that's the whole. In a lot of ways, it's just about being a jumping off point.
Yeah.
TC said it's a blessing to have people to give you honest review, whether you like it or not, because they want you to improve. Yeah, the worst place to be is when, like, I'll be totally honest. As a teacher, sometimes you have those kids where it's February or March, they have a 0% in your class. They don't do, and you just like, they're on their phone during class, and you just kind of walk by and you just don't say anything as long as they're not destroying anything, and they think they're getting away with something, but really it's like, actually, you're in a really bad spot because I have just given up on you. And it happens for sure. And that's a bad spot to be when no one is giving you the feedback, when no one is taking the time to do anything. Then that means that they've sort of given up.
But that's because you've given up.
What do you mean? But the person,
student has given up. Yeah.
Right. Like the next day, if that student came to class and was like, "Look, I'm sorry, I need to get it together. What do I do?" Yeah, sure, we'll jump right back into it.
Right.
But yeah, if you're doing things and nobody's giving you any insight, then yeah. Let's see. Mr. Camera Junkie says, "My first tutorial changed things for me. I was able to provide value." See, obviously, like, I'm a career teacher, so I view this differently. I love doing tutorial stuff because it is such a concrete thing. It's not just entertaining. It's not just enjoyable or whatever, but it's like somebody can watch it and really take something away from it. To me, I love doing that. So I, as like a YouTube creator, really enjoy that.
Who is that? Lewis, right?
Yeah.
My first tutorial was like life-changing for me. I remember it so vividly. I had never...
What was it?
It was how to tell a story.
Aww.
And I was so excited because I don't even think the word tutorial, I didn't know what that was.
You're just doing a how-to video.
I was doing a how-to video. And the fact that I could like come up with something, because it's writing. Like, you're writing an essay, basically, and then you're bringing it to life through video. And I was just so excited about it. And I framed it in, what is it called? It was Missy's birthday, and we were taking a party bus to wine country, basically. Okay. So we went on this wine tour in a party bus, and I was like late. So so the whole premise of the story I was telling was like, oh my God, I'm late. I don't know if I'm going to make the party. And then of course I make the party and fun ensues.
The life of the party. Yes, of course.
Yeah. But like and then like a couple of weeks later or days later, maybe, Casey came out with a video about how to tell a story. And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the same wavelength as someone I admire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing that same thing. Obviously I don't have the same reach, but just to know that I was like starting to create something that others could watch in the same way that I was watching Casey's, like, it was so powerful. That was the best feeling, Kevin.
From it. There it is. There we go. Steve said he thought men were supposed to be good listeners and not provide solutions. Right. And he says, also, Elon Musk is about to overtake Bezos as the richest man. And Jessica wished she could help Elon and Jeff.
No, she wishes both of them could help more.
She could help them more. Like, Are they really happy? I mean, you know. Oh, that's true. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Lewis said
I
you
mean,
could
I
leave your
thought of
videos
that.
for members. You could do stuff like that. But just, you're not deleting them. So the idea of them being wiped from the face of the earth, that's not happening. They're just unlisted.
Yeah,
So
they're
there's
still
still
there. I would
options.
never
Yeah.
delete my videos. Are you kidding?
Oh, a join button. See, I'm curious about the join button too. I have all my stuff ready to go and I just need to like click the button to turn it on, but I haven't. Ben's here.
Hey, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. It's from Target.
Yes,
Massimo. Tusif said he named his channel as himself because he wants to make videos on where I think I can create art, and with time I may or may not narrow my niche down, but right now filmmaking is a broad niche and I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's like broad and specific, because filmmaking, it's not baking, it's not makeup, it's not auto repair, but it's also like, it can be a lot of things that fall into the filmmaking category. I love, for me, what I discovered was by including my name on my YouTube channel, it made the platform so much more personal and so much more personable. I really, really like that, because people, no matter how much I put my name in the videos before, when it was the Enthusiasm Project, people still had no idea who I was, and they were confused, and like they just called me the guy, and like it was just, people had a hard time referring to me, and it was just very frustrating. It's really nice when people are like, "Hey, Tom." I'm like, "Oh, hey." And Ben says, "I don't." Which also, if you guys haven't checked out Ben's channel, go check it out, because he's in the middle of a daily. He made a very cool Twitter post this morning. It's all about like these 25, 26 videos. They didn't exist a month ago, and now they're here, and that's really cool.
We're almost done, Ben.
So
Hang in
congrats.
there.
He says, "I don't ever feel like I'm sharing something groundbreaking or brand new, but I love the feeling of helping someone." Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's all been done, but it hasn't been done the way that you're going to do it. I always use the example of roller coasters, where like you go to a theme park, there's a big roller coaster, millions and millions of people have ridden it before. So does that mean like you shouldn't ride it because, maybe you've even ridden a roller coaster before. You're like, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to spin around. Okay. But no, like your experience on it is going to be your unique thing. And when it comes to videos and content, like people are going to connect. They're going to connect to you in a very specific way. You can have 3 people. I guess it's like going back to teaching. You can have 4 10th grade English teachers with the same textbook, but you'll have students say like, "I love this teacher, I don't like this teacher." And it's like, they're teaching the exact same thing. So it comes down to how they're teaching it, with personality, like vibe, whatever you want to call it. And even though it is literally word for word the same content. So Tussi said changing your name was a brilliant decision. It was brilliant. Thank you, Heather. And Michael Jolly said, "The dude." Yeah, just the dude. The dude is the dude.
The dude.
Ben says heart.
Heart.
Well, I've been going at this for an hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Trooper.
It's been really fun. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I don't think we don't need
Yeah.
conclusions. We did talk about New Year's, and I explained we'll be doing a Thursday New Year's Eve show. The timing will probably be different. Explain we're doing
that's
East
right.
Coast timing.
Yes.
So I said, tentatively like 7 to 9-ish. I don't know. 7 to 9, 8 to 10, something like that. So
Yeah.
we'll be back. There's a lot of stuff happening, because there's an audio only episode we put up yesterday.
Go check it out. Well, it's very YouTube heavy.
Yes.
So if you're not into that.
It's there's a previous audio episode, like the audio from a previous episode comes out tomorrow. This audio will go up at some point, and then we have the thing on Thursday. So there's just like couples
Lots
table
of-
all over
yeah.
the place this week.
Yeah.
No. Is there anything else you want to do, or do you want to wrap up, or what?
That's a good question.
You didn't get. I don't know if everyone got their fill of Heather yet.
I just have so much on my mind. I'm trying to like.
Would you like to share any of it? I can listen or talk as much or as little as you want.
I mean, I'm still trying to make sense of it, so I don't know if it's not that I don't want to share it. I just feel like it's gonna be you guys staring at me,
Which is fine.
dash my eyes back and forth because I'm trying to like.
It is what live streams are.
For me to help you with that.
Oh my
Okay.
god! Oh my god! So, darn it! It went away.
She get the whole thing.
She said like, Hey Siri, I feel like guys are staring at me. What should I do about it? Like, that's what I picked up.
You'll need an app for that was her answer, so that's good. Michael says, before we declare times on New Year's Eve, should we check Heather's planner?
Oh,
So we don't
seriously.
overbook. And
I don't know
Jared
how I
said,
did that.
this was a great way to break up the day. And Tusif said, is that a gimbal behind me? Yes, that's my Ronin S, which actually...
All right, I'm clear.
It's not a, it's, you know, it's the original Ronin. It's not a new gimbal or anything.
Woo.
But I did put this handle on it, which is nice. And then I also 3D printed these covers. I did blue and purple because blue and purple. But I don't like know where to store this, so it just hangs out. Whoa. I almost fell over. I'm sitting on like a little tiny drum stool and it's awkward. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you have any other things like
No,
based on what I was saying?
No, I mean, I don't.
I was like, maybe we should just have the conversation that we would have offline anyway.
Hey, that's fine. I know when it's done because here's what's going to happen. We're going to end this stream. We're going to put it out and she's going to be like, that was good. Yeah. How was Brewer? Okay, it was good. And then I'm going to go like, so what's the thing with her channel? And she's going to say, well, what I was thinking was blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to talk for 45 minutes. She's like, oh, we should have recorded this. Let me tell you what our afternoon's going to be.
I can't get out of the, it's so hard for me not to be like, this is worth sharing. Like everything to me is worth sharing because it's the journey. I like sharing, figuring things out.
Well,
Even if I don't figure things out until later.
Okay. So, question. Why can't you do whatever you want on this channel and then just double down on the refined tutorial channel?
Because here's the deal, okay? You have 100 energies. Okay?
Okay.
You have 100 energies that you're going to use every, for the next 3 months.
Sure.
The way that I'm thinking about this is partially based off a book called The 12-Week Year. And its premise is basically instead of doing New Year's resolutions, you should be doing like quarterly resolutions because it's a lot easier to plan in 90-day chunks. So I'm thinking about my next 90 days. And, what I've learned from doing this 31-day challenge is I work really well when there's a very specific thing to do and I will crush it. Right? I know I can do that because I am doing that right now. So if I have 100 energies to spend, 100 HP, whatever, and there's all these things that I can do, lots of options. I've got tutorials, you've got a couples table, I've got an email newsletter, I've got social media, webinars, all of these things. What is the thing that I want to do? Because I'm not going to get anywhere putting 5 energies here, 5 energies here, 5 energies. If I put, 75% into one thing that is going to really be effective and then divvy up the rest on things that will support that, I'm going to be so much further than, 5 over here, 5 over here, 5 over here, 5 over here. And then come April, I can come back to this channel because hopefully having achieved that other goal, it'll make this goal easier. Okay. I think at the end of the day, I definitely want to have this channel. I don't want to kill the channel. I don't want to start a new one. But my goal is still to have the takeaway be that you have a story worth sharing. And I felt like because I was sharing my story, people could be like, oh wow, I can do that too with my own thing. And I've had several people do that. Yeah. And so I still want to have that, but I don't think that the way that I'm doing it is effectively achieving that. It's very once a month someone will be like, oh, I want to start a channel too. And then which is great. Yeah. But if I have the power of scale through YouTube, why wouldn't I use that? Right. And I feel like I just have to explore different, doing the 31 videos is really, I used B-roll for the first time. in a very strange, I'm still getting used to it kind of way that Tom helped me with. And I feel like incorporating that plus a vlog style approach plus learning how to tell stories in a single video rather than over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't have an answer, but it makes sense. We're talking
Maybe
about
record, but not live.
Oh, our discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any answers.
Tell me the answer, Tom.
Just create more.
What's new for your channel? What you got going on?
I mean, there's nothing new. It's just I had a weird video go viral for an hour last night.
Did you tell them already?
No. I woke up to my analytics this morning and randomly a video that's been up for a month last night for 1 hour.
Show them the.
Oh, you know what? I could probably do it here. Yeah, let me show you guys this because this will be pretty funny. So this was just, which is funny because it's a video I made and I thought it was going to do pretty well and it didn't do as well as I expected. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like it was a fun video. I don't care. But, I hit 48,000 just now. That's cool.
Oh, yay. Congrats. Good job, babe.
Thank you.
Boop, 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 boop,
So
boop,
this
boop.
video is from December 3rd, the day before my birthday.
The second one.
Yes, this one, right? Video analytics. Okay.
You guys have to see this.
Let me screen
This is
share.
the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
What is the screen share? Okay,
Why are we like that?
because we'll just go away. There we go. Okay, so
Do
here.
you guys see this graph?
So this graph, I've never seen anything.
Not that.
What graph?
On the right.
Yeah, it's this graph here.
How
But you
bizarre
can see
is
it here.
this?
So it's one little boop. This is the last 48 hours. For 1 hour yesterday, from 9 to 10 p.m. last night, this video got 22,000 views in that 1 hour. And then
Died.
that's it.
Yeah, it just went back down.
And I
How weird is that?
and I don't know.
What were we even doing?
It says paid ads have been contributing to 106. What does that mean?
Paid ads? Are you paying?
No. Did the company that owns this pay?
What is good?
Like the company that makes the product? I've never paid for an ad.
Paid ads. There's just paid ads.
What does that mean?
Go to.
Oh, wait. No, it even says, oh, look. It says right here, YouTube advertising, 22,000 views.
From who though?
Somebody paid for an ad?
What? That's so weird. Wait, scroll down. Go to reach.
Up here?
Yeah. YouTube advertising. And then it just dropped, and then it just died. I
I've
wonder
never
how many
seen YouTube
subscribers you got
advertising.
from it.
Well, the whole video, how do you tell like how many subscribers? It's 71 total. So like, and it's been up for a month, so it's not a lot. So my thought, here's what I'm thinking. If I go to the comments, this is a video about a USB microphone. I found the cheapest USB mic. Can we pop up on here? It's just this weird, weird thing. Here, picture in picture shape. We'll do wide. There we go. It's like normal now.
Hey.
I just don't know how to make it like there.
Oh, hey.
There we go. Look at us. Hey, we're back.
Hey.
So here's what I'm thinking. This video is about a USB microphone. I found like the cheapest USB mic on Amazon I could find. And what I've noticed, which is actually really cool, is the company that makes it, they've been running tech support in my comment section for like the last week.
Really?
When
Oh,
people
the
ask
fine
questions,
people?
they show up and they explain, like they answer people's questions. They elaborate on my responses. It's been great.
That's so weird that you could boost other people's videos.
But I don't, so
You have no power to be like, nah.
my thought is that maybe they like this video and they somehow paid for an ad for it, which would be for an hour, which would be weird. They were answering questions though
At that time.
last night. Yeah, before I went to bed, I got a notification.
That's so weird. I think that's shady. That,
I mean,
like,
I don't
makes me
like the
feel
idea
weird.
that you could like just advertise somebody else's
It's
video.
like they're using your platform without your permission.
Yeah,
That
and
makes
it's
me feel
and
weird.
throwing my analytics out of whack
Yeah.
because, but it's only for an hour, so it's almost like it was a mistake.
Well, I don't think so because they were up in the comments.
But like, I don't know. This is really weird.
That's so weird. That makes me feel so weird.
Yeah, maybe I
They
could.
didn't reach out to you?
No, they've never directly reached
I
out.
don't even
to
know
me.
how to do YouTube ads. Isn't that funny?
I don't either. We've never done YouTube ads. Like we have YouTube Premium, so we don't have to watch ads. How bizarre. Well, anyway, maybe I could send YouTube an email and be like, I don't know what happened, but I think someone ran an ad with this video. Can you like tell me? I'll do that. I'm gonna email YouTube customer support.
Yeah, because I guess they can tell you the source of like who boosted your video. Or
Maybe,
whatever.
yeah.
Weird.
So, anyway, going back to what we were talking about, Ben brought up a good point, which maybe have been why our podcast yesterday was strange. He said it's difficult not to be distracted by the performative aspect of being live. Yeah, I mean, the same thing with podcasts because we had our discussion, but then we're doing the podcast and I'm trying to get the listener up to speed because I don't want to just hit record in the middle of a discussion, which I guess technically we could have the discussion and then add on an intro later. Go like, hey, this is what you're about to hear. And where we don't have to then.
I was just talking to you. I wasn't even trying to catch anybody.
I know,
up.
but I got to be the.
I know.
you
I
know.
could tell when I re-listened.
I think that's an important thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael says, I think the 30 days impacted me much more than I used B-roll. Look at thumbnails, camera, layout, stingers. 30-day challenge was like a super change for the content quality. Yeah,
Charge.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was the best.
December 3rd was Tusief's birthday. It was the day before my birthday, too. Some company wanted to sell their mic for Christmas, but
It wasn't even a
It was
day.
after
It was
Christmas
an
for an hour. Yeah.
Megan.
It's probably like, it's got to be that company. Thompson.
Oh, Megan. I think we connected on Instagram.
Megan's been here the whole time.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And
I think they
Sheen
said
is
that
here.
I don't know if I'm getting confused.
I'm just going to email YouTube and just ask questions because it's just so confusing.
Greetings, humans.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my voice is getting a little dry,
All right.
so I could definitely use a break. We've done
Thanks
almost
for
90 minutes.
sorry for the double book. I can't say I've never done that.
Oh,
think
yeah, I
I've
do it
done
all the
that. But that was so bizarre.
Hey, one of my like resolutions 2021
man.
is finally going all digital on calendars and being good about it. I've resisted, but
With
work and YouTube and both our schedules, it's the only way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, New Year's Eve, the countdown into
Talking New Year's Eve instead of rocking New Year's Eve.
2021.
Yes.
It'll be you can ring in the year with us. We can bring some of you guys on stream. We'll all have fun. That'll be cool.
Fun. That'd be way cool.
So if you want to be on camera, be camera ready.
So just check the social medias, and we'll let you know exactly what time we're gonna go.
I think
very likely
we do
gonna be
7.
doing a East Coast New Year's Eve. So
Oh yeah, are you kidding?
7
When was the
p.m.
last time we stayed up till midnight?
I can't do that. Are you kidding? It ruined my whole next day. Not a great way to start the year. All right, it is time to clear the table.
Thanks
you
for
for
hanging
listening.
out. Bye guys.
Bye.
Catch you on
The flippity flop.
Thursday. Bread Founder. Oh, it's Bread Founder. Aaron.
Oh,